So now we're in for a treat. I have asked Dean Janusz Kaczynski of the Lausanne School of Engineering to make some final remarks on the conference for today. Now, I really appreciate him being here because he's been quite busy building a new school, so he spared the time to be with us today. He has a postdoc from MIT. He was the dean at the University of Saskatchewan, and he was a professor and associate vice principal at McGill. And I'm so happy that we were able to scoop you here at York and now heading Lausanne. I think he's quite the cool dean, and I need to just mention some of the research, some of the work he does. So his research includes projects related to next generation of nuclear reactors, environmental impact of energy technology, fabrication of novel nanomaterials, public security in buildings, immune to bioterrorism, and Mars exploration. And here I think it's really appropriate that we started with an aerospace engineer, so with the head of SIPO, and we end with someone who's actually been up in space. So we thank you very much for being here, Dean Kaczynski, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much. I'm going to show some slides. Sure. Would it be all right? Pina, thank you so much. Indeed, I have to make a correction. I was almost in space. So space starts around maybe 40 kilometers above the Earth, and I was maybe around 32 or so. Look, let me comment first on the poster here, which I like very much. If we are talking about the role of students in commercializing IP, then it shows exactly how it may look like, which is lots of dynamics, brilliant ideas, quite a lot of chaotic going around as well. And what I wanted to do is offer a few comments, not as dean, by the way, but somebody that actually created some IP in the past, somebody who created my own company, and somebody who some time ago I was overseeing in the Office of Technology Transfer at McGill, which was the most hated office on campus, perhaps, and it was the office that was looking after IP. Let me state from the outset. Do you have a remote, perhaps? Thank you, Vina, sorry. Look, let me state from the outset that I don't believe in the university's role in insisting on having or owning IP. It is perhaps a relative minority opinion among our colleagues in academia, but I'm going to try to state my case and comment about how I see the role of students and how, as a practical man, I want to offer also some solutions that we are currently implementing. Now, if you want to talk about IP and the role of students, if we have to understand what are the conditions and environment that they are operating or functioning in, and I like, from time to time, I like to show this slide, how a different model of companies had changed. Our colleagues from industry would understand clearly, but in academia, we are still quite far back. So back in the 70s, it was all having one leader, and then everything was, or the majority of things, were coming top down. And then it got into a model that we are, in fact, currently having the majority of universities. This is how we work. We have presidents and vice presidents and faculties and departments and lots of silos. Some of the universities are trying to evolve into a much more horizontal model, which is shown in here. What it means is that you identify the key elements of what is it that you are trying to focus on, and then engage teams in making decisions. Now, the model that it seems that is prevailing right now, and that's the model that we are creating in my own Lasson School of Engineering, is the one that is illustrated here, which means one has to realize what is it that is our core business. Once we define it, then whatever is non-core, it's much better to give it to other people that know better how to do it. So the core business of the university, of course, is delivering academic programs and making sure that our students are getting knowledge that is reflecting on the changes that are occurring in the 21st century. But if you look at the universities, what's happening is that universities also run power plants. We do, by the way. So the universities run offices such as the, let's say, this Office of Technology Transfer that is focused inwards rather than outwards. I think it was you, David, I think you mentioned that what's really important is how we, or it was Bill as well, what we should do is find a way to take what our students and faculty members are developing and try to find a way to get this out to industry, rather than trying to create obstacles and negotiating with industry up front. What could potentially happen if that thing actually worked out? So I think the role of OTTs kind of should really be changed. The other element that is very important, in fact, because that's exactly how universities are working. University essentially is kind of a public-private and philanthropic partnership, because those are the key pillars of where we are. By the way, so this slide comes from a colleague of mine from Oxford, from Said Business School. It's unfortunate, it is a bit old, maybe it was 2010. So since then it changed, not that dramatically, but you can see that essentially Canada was more or less where the US was. Now, apparently US is a bit higher, where there is a potential for leapfrogging to this top tier that people at Oxford felt that UK is in that top tier, but essentially what happened is that in UK they did create conditions that allow for thriving under the triple P expansion. Now, the other thing that we have to always realize, and it is very important at the university, likely also in industry, is that we always work with people. I mean, people are the key ingredient of any success, particularly people with a dream and a passion to achieve their dreams. But they look at things differently than you do. Now, so how it works is if you look at your colleagues and you try to make a change, and believe me, I know what it means because we are making quite a few changes right now. If you create a new academic unit, that everybody and his brother has a different opinion about it, then I really know how difficult but pleasurable it is as well. So if you look at it, you're going to always find a lot of different characters, people that really want to help you, that believe in what you're doing, that some that are really pragmatic about it, some that are cynical about it, some that are going to try to undermine. And these are all the colleagues. It's all your own team that you have. And these are also potentially representing our students to some degree. So look, if you have some people would say that, look, if we have this on the right, perhaps what we should do is we should simply, if they are colleagues, we should simply de-hire them and focus on those on the left, which is not necessarily the case, because you have to find a way to work with a variety of characters. Now, so with regards to intellectual property, how I look at it, and particularly having a first-hand experience with generating one, trying to protect one, losing some, and gaining just a little bit out of it, then there's a difference, certainly, between the ownership and between trying to protect it and between creating a framework, including the legal framework, which, in my opinion, it depends on industry. Now, so in academia, which is one of the industries, I think that we should insist on not having the IP rights whatsoever. In fact, I like the model that is run at Waterloo. My understanding is that the University of Waterloo gives IP rights, 100% of those rights, to people that develop it. So being students or faculty members or their staff. And why so? Well, simply that what IP means in academia is it's a piece of paper that is an agreement that it's going to give you the right to go to court. But it is very seldom that universities are actually going to court. In fact, I know of one recent case. I don't know if you've heard about University of Regina. University of Regina decided to go to court. It's going to take a long time, lots of resources, and at the end, very likely, will be somehow settled of sorts. It would be much easier to just offer an opportunity to our people, students, faculty members and staff, to offer them an opportunity to have the right from the outset. And our role should be different. We have to try to facilitate the process, the way that we should make their lives easier. And if our students and faculty, if they are going to be successful, if they are going to create a billion-dollar company, then I'm quite sure that they will be able to come back to us and thank universities for our encouragement and potential investment in what they are doing, rather than trying to prevent them from going and talking to this industrial colleague or the other industrial colleague, because it's very likely that they are going to create a big business. The reality is that the IP policies at universities target only a very small portion of our community, perhaps a fraction of a percent. So it doesn't make sense to create policies that are going to affect everybody, but essentially are targeting only a very small portion of individuals. Now, it's not very well. What I wanted to show here is my experience with the Office of Technology Transfer at McGill when I was looking after it, which is we were like this cat, okay, and trying to capture anybody that is going to have potential. It's a potential for idea, not even an idea. And then if we did it, then we would start negotiating with the potential industry and starting from obstacles. Let's create this barrier because this is going to create millions of dollars and so on. And it never worked. People really didn't like it. I was not long enough looking after this office to change it, but and unfortunately it's not changed dramatically, because McGill, I believe, together with our colleagues, perhaps downtown here, they still have those strong IP policies that prevent, to a certain degree, prevent people from free collaboration. Well, sometimes what we would do is we would struck from a distance, okay? So nobody would know, and then we realize that somebody is doing something that potentially will be interesting, so we would try to do that. What we should do, in fact, and we should provide an environment. If you want to make a splash, you see, you have to provide an environment that will allow students, because we're talking about students here, students to swim freely. Let them exercise the ways that they function, new ideas that they want to explore. Now, so no obstacles. Now, there's another element into it, that if you just remove obstacles, well, it's not good enough. Because in order to make things that are useful, you have to have another resource, which is money. I mean, it's really, really important to do so. Now, but before I tell you, I want to share with you my experience here at York very quickly. When I became a dean 2 years ago, well, 2.5 years ago now, I've got lots of great ideas, and we've wanted to work together with everybody, with the central offices, and even with people from the power plant and so on. So I've entitled my presentation to people. The first one is "Together We Can," I mean, which is exactly how I thought about it. After a while, once I became a little bit more pragmatic, I liked another motto that I use it, which is so screw it, let's do it. Because you see, you have to be prepared in academia. I would say we have to be prepared to discuss things for as long as reasonable, rather than for as long as possible. And then you have to make a decision, you have to be responsible for those decisions, and you have to make investments. I mean, investment is very important. A lot of people, when I talk to them in other faculties and departments and other universities, a lot of them, they talk about spending. We spent on this, we spent on that. I don't believe in spending. Spending doesn't make sense. You have to know what is it that you want to do, and then you have to invest in it. So what we do is we do invest in student activities, particularly activities related to entrepreneurship. We stimulate students and encourage them to create companies, and we are prepared to invest in these companies, but also, which is perhaps more important even, we are prepared to take their idea, help them to take these ideas and link them up with industries. Now, we are at the very beginning of this process. We created this this place, Better Entrepreneurs in Science and Technology. It's currently $5 million venture capital, so to speak, and we are really prepared to increase this capital, and we are truly prepared to invest in our students. I have to say that our priority is towards our students, but if students work with faculty members, that would be terrific, but we really want to make sure that students benefit the most from it. Now, some people say that look, in academia, it's important to, in order to make things happen, you see, you have to, there will take miracles to do so. And indeed, with miracles it may take, but miracles do not happen in a vacuum. I mean, you have to create a culture. So what we are trying to do here is we are truly trying to create a culture. Now, how is it that in addition to this BEST program, the culture that we are creating here at York, and we hope that is going to help our students is perhaps best illustrated here. Although the title is York Engineering, because we are creating this engineering school, but essentially we did develop not just a concept, but rather a specific initiative or set of initiatives that is linking the three professional schools: Osgoode, Schulich School of Business, and our Lassonde. And what we hope, and I put it here, Pina, the International IP Initiative. I talked to your dean, so I hope that he mentioned it to you as well. Look, that's how you want to make things happen. What we want to do is we want our students, particularly students in science and engineering, but also students in our sister professional faculties, we want them to be exposed to the education that they will be able to understand better the meaning of creating a company, the meaning of creating an IP, the meaning of ethics, the meaning of professional integrity. If you create a company and you go out and you negotiate, then you have to base your negotiations and your next steps on certain values, and the value of a professional integrity is the fundamental one. So we are changing the way. We are mostly changing the way how our engineering students are going to benefit from it, and we are able to do so because we are kind of creating this new academic enterprise from the beginning. We are in the process of hiring 100 people. That's a substantial hire, 70 faculty members and the 40 staff, technical and administrative staff, in addition to the 68 that we are acquiring from another faculty. So we have this opportunity to do so. And what we would like to do is make sure that our friends from Osgoode and our colleagues, friends from Schulich, will be able to collaborate with us from Lassonde for the benefit of our undergraduate students. So perhaps when you organize, Pina, something similar, a forum similar next year, hopefully by then we will be able to bring specific examples. And rather than myself talking about it, the best way would be to have groups of students that will be able to speak about the subject from their own experience. Some experiences will be positive, and there will be some failures. That's the reality. But I learned firsthand how much you can benefit from a failure. So that would be my message for this afternoon. It's very late, so I know that I don't want to keep you here, but if anybody would like to have a conversation with me on the side, I'll be more than happy to do so. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. I just want to, there's something for you. I just wanted to say thank you very much for delivering those comments. I think if we go back to that chart, we're all going to be on that side. Yes, we can. And you can see how the Lausanne School of Engineering is really going to be the top school in the country under his leadership. So thank you very much encouraged. I love what you mentioned about making life easier for the student and allowing the student to swim easily. So we really bring it back to the student in these closing remarks. So thank you very much. And we look forward to the next conference, right? Because we have the slide right up here. So with that, just some housekeeping announcements, and thanks to really all of you also for joining us today. A big thanks to all of our speakers and the chairs that ushered through the panels. A big round of applause. To our sponsors, of course, to Michelle and Mary, who've been incredible in organizing this event, to our students, Adam sitting there, Sumaya, there's Spencer, and Sean, actually, who's going to be blogging on this, so the conversation does continue. So do go on the website where this event will be archived, and if you didn't have a chance to infuse your thoughts, please do so online. Now, a community is only as strong as its members, and I do encourage you to visit the site, get in touch with me, any one of us here at Osgoode, or Lasand, I would say too, and bring forward your thoughts for an event, anything you'd like to do. We want to work with you, and we want to outreach more into the community. Also, as I mentioned, a lot of my work is in this area, so I have those 2 shirt grants that are going to keep me quite busy for the next few years. So please do stay in touch, and I look forward to working with you if you have any thoughts on this whole theme of innovation, commercialization. We've started the conversation today on really bringing the student first and including them in this whole process. So with that, thank you very much. Please do visit iposgoode.ca, tune in to future events, and look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thank you.